My name's Omar. I come from Queanbeyan, New South Wales. That's often given really mean nicknames like Struggle Town or the Soweto of Canberra. But I grew up in a little flat next to a paddock with my parents, and in Queanbeyan you meet all sorts of people. I knew none of their government names back then. Back then, some of the most wondrous people I knew were self-destructive, talented vandals who took to relationships with mallet and saw. There was beauty in the streets. You could see it everywhere, in fishtails and donuts, the silver cursive that slanted off tires, in spray can fumes and opals of oil, in kickflips and crossovers, cuts and kebab shops, in sneakers that cluster hung like grapes on power lines, and in that something. Could they see it too? The generation who printed a crystal font on its bloodstream, the entrepreneur with check pistol and silencer as thick as a ballerina's wrist. You see, this was the Australia I saw. No Don Bradman, no Pavlovas, no coastline etched in shale, no white sails of the Opera House, no. These were suburbs, inscribed on scarified earth, an alphabet of exiles far from lands of birth. I'm talking pittance workers and remittance senders, traditional custodians and the kids of immigrants. You know the ones heard about, not from, the ones talked at, not to, the ones treated as if very, very small. In other words, us. Each day, like smoke, I unwound up the stairs. I smelled the oils and spices of many lands. I heard many tongues. In flat 7, a Macedonian man said, "Hey, shopresh, brother," as he massaged his elbow. The Tongan woman in flat 16 said, "Maloi lele," as she prepared for her 3rd night shift in a row. And my mother and father said, "Assalamu alaikum," when I entered flat 26. I learned that in Malay culture, a storyteller is named Penglipur Lara, dispeller of worries, reliever of sorrows. This is also the name given to a garden of delights where all cares are lost. And what delights in stories, what insights, what power to give voice to the worlds inside. But there are many types of stories. I heard carnivorous tales loping down gentrifying streets, the hiss of talkback serpents, the whistle of go back to where you came from. I lost faith and leapt into the whirlpool. Reckless hours, pilled and powdered, full of sex and camaraderie. Part of me knew on days like this the timer ticked, history slipped, we skipped words like stones from our hands, words that couldn't be retrieved, like love, like hate, like us, like goodbye. Yet somehow I found that something, like a magic key connecting old and new. I found it on beats, breaks, tapes and acetate, unordained lion hearts on thrones self-made. Do you hear? Do you hear what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Tupac's and Lauryn Hill's, Rakim's, Nas's, Kendrick Lamar's, Public Enemy's, siphoning El Haji Malik El Shabazz, Jimblas, Deltas and Brad Strutts, Battlers, Hilltop Hoods and horror shows, Death Wish casts and coolisms. Do you hear? Do you hear what I'm talking about? Yes. I'm talking about the unrecognized street tumblers, numberless underground kings and queens who taught us the power of our voices, of nonconformity, that each lyric, each windmill, each scarred 45 and fan of paint from a nozzle was a story aching to be told, unfolding before us the fractals of cosmos and starlight, a world all of a sudden unbearably bright. So linger now. Linger with me. Consider that somehow, despite the broken bottles and tattered bigotry, we could still own that something. Be that something. Something airborne, something gold shot. Beings arranged in a calligraphy of rhythm and rebellion. People with so much damn resilience. It is impossible not to smile. So let it play, that's something, let it play. Weave your stories into shining nets, drag them behind zigzagging decks, zooped up cars, trains and trams through streets and sunsets, trawl for the things you thought you'd lost. Because you, me, us, we are more than statistics, we are more than misfits, we are more than your dreams are unrealistic. This is the paint that drips from every brick, the spirit that soothes the weary limb. This is the new scripture of our lives, spelled skyscraper high in capital letters, bold. Thank you, guys. I love you. Thank you. See you. Much love.